Hey guys, Games for Life here, and in today's video we are doing beginner versus pro, starting a new base. We're gonna take a look at a pro shuttle loadout and at a beginner loadout. You can probably tell which one's which, so we're gonna take a deep dive into everything you need to take with you when starting a new base on another planet, and some mistakes you should not do. Now, being prepared from the get-go when going to a different planet is a must. This will help you tremendously when trying to build a new base. If the one on the right looks more like your speed, then I've got a video for you called 5 beginner tips. It should appear on screen right now. You'll see some tips for beginners over there, but I'm gonna share even more in this video, so stay tuned. But make sure to watch that as well after finishing this video. Alright, let's get straight into it. So as a beginner, you're probably just gonna take a small shuttle with you. This is pretty easy to craft, all you need is 2 aluminum. So you're gonna get that fairly quick. And then you'll probably see this hologram right here of an oxygenator, so you'll craft an oxygenator as well to take with you for your new base, right? And that takes 1 aluminum and 1 ceramic. Again, pretty basic resources. I've got a video on those as well, but that's beside the point. But then you're gonna realize that you can't actually go anywhere because you require a thruster. So the most natural thing to do is to craft a solid fuel thruster, because that's just easier. Let's see what you need for one of those thrusters. So you're gonna need aluminum and ammonium. Again, that's pretty easy. You can just get ammonium from the soil centrifuge, or you can go around searching for it. And there you go, you've got your whole setup right there. Now this thruster only has 4 launches, so you're only gonna be able to go there and come back if you forgot something or you realize you need something else. Now, one tip for beginners, that's something that most people don't do for whatever reason. You should actually take more of these thrusters in your backpack, so that you have even more launches. I see a lot of people getting stranded on different planets as a beginner, and it's not a fun thing to happen to you, right? So you should be prepared from the beginning and just get multiple thrusters. Now, if you can afford one of these, which is a hydrazine thruster, and you can afford the hydrazine for it, then this is so much better, especially since you can just craft new hydrazine or bring more with you. Now, when going to a different planet, you'll probably have some stuff in your backpack as well. Mine is pretty empty right now. But a beginner would usually have some compound, resin, maybe a small printer, and always one of these, the small generator. Not gonna lie, this is a pretty good tool for beginners. You just place some organic into it and it creates power. It's pretty versatile, easy to craft, and it basically covers your very early needs. But when you get more advanced, you should really look into QTRTGs and other such items that produce constant power without you having to feed anything into them. So this right here produces 1 U per second, and it does it all the time. It doesn't matter if it's sunny, if it's windy or whatever, it will just always produce 1 U of power. Now this right here is what a pro would take, or at least what I think a pro would take. And that's what beginners should at least strive for, or something at least close to this. Of course, there are a ton of variations as to what kind of materials you want to take with you depending on what planet you're going, or what kind of a base you want to build there. But in general, something like this. First off, you notice this is a large shuttle, so that you can fit more stuff on it. That's the first thing, because with this small one, you can't really take a lot with you. It has no storage spaces on it, but this has a lot of storage, and then I placed 2 of these large storages on it. You can also use those longer ones, the silos, I think they're called, if you want to take even more stuff, of course. But here I just wanted to generally showcase some items that you would need on your planetary journey through Astroneer. Apart from the storage space, one of the biggest upgrades is the hydrazine thruster. As I've previously mentioned, you can just fill this up with hydrazine and have as many launches as you need. And hand in hand with that goes the medium fluid canister filled with hydrazine. Mine is not really filled to the top because I used this shuttle quite a bit. But what I'm trying to say is that you need more hydrazine with you. Don't just take the minimum amount you're gonna use, because then you might get stuck somewhere. Now I've also got some small batteries, a QTRTG, and you can notice I replaced the large oxygenator with a portable one so that we can have this in our backpack as well. So check this out. This consumes 1 U per second, and the QTRTG produces 1 U per second. So with just this setup, you're never gonna run out of oxygen no matter what you do. So yeah, that's a pretty cool setup. Let me turn that off right now. Then I added one of these small generators in here as well, and some power producing items. One of the things that I usually like to do is place another item in this oxygenator spot. I usually do that with a buggy. And I also have a seat right here, because when I get to a planet, I won't really land in the exact spot I want my base to be. So then what some beginners do is they just take their shuttle and they run with it around until they find a nice spot for it, for the base I mean. But that really takes up a lot of time. So what I usually do is I just get a buggy, I have my seat and one of these QTRTGs, so I can just drive it indefinitely until I find a really good spot. Then I place a beacon right there. I go back to the shuttle, and because I have all of these hydrazine, I can just go into space again and land as close as I can to my beacon. And yeah, so that's where my base would be. Then we've got some resources right here. These are some advanced resources like titanium alloy, steel, tungsten carbide or nanocarbon alloy. We can use this for whatever we want. Then I added some generic materials such as ceramic, titanium, zinc or tungsten. Again, you can fill these spots out with whatever materials you know you need. So for example, you're coming to Glacier, right? Wind is really big here, so you're gonna need a ton of wind power, so maybe you take more aluminum with you, or I don't know. That depends on your specific loadout, but in general you should have multiple valuable resources with you, as well as some resin and compound, of course. These are the basic resources that you'll need for any type of base building. Then, if we want to trade stuff, I took some astronium, but you can also take scrap if you don't have that much astronium with you. And I chose to get a full canister of iron in order to build those huge platforms, like the large platform C, or the extra large platform C, excuse me, like this one right here, so that I could have a really big base. Beginner launching into space, 3, 2, 1, go. This looks so tiny. And we're back, just landed next to the base right here. That's what a beginner journey looks like. Of course you would want to go to a different planet, not land on the same one right next to your base again. But yeah, I'm not looking to actually take this shuttle anywhere. So instead, we're gonna take this big one and we're gonna go somewhere. That's essentially because I want to have a new base series on a different planet, and I need you guys to help me choose which planet is next for us. So please let me know down in the comments where do you want our next base to be, and based on what you want to see, we're gonna start a new base series there. Please don't forget to let me know down in the comments below, and we'll make it happen. Right now let's land back on the Glacier for now. Right, so that's all for today. Don't forget about that beginner tips video. Make sure to go watch that next. I've been Games for Life, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, Astroneers!